6 Symptoms of intestinal worms. Having intestinal worms can be a condition that upsets or even scares many people. However, you should not be ashamed if you suffer from the symptoms. Remember that intestinal worms are a very common disease, and they don't just affect underdeveloped countries. Consult your doctor and follow his instructions to improve your health quickly. Here are some symptoms that may indicate the presence of parasites in your body. What are intestinal worms? Intestinal worms, or parasites, are organisms that live and feed from another organism. Thus, intestinal parasites are organisms whose survival depends on the nutrition and health of the human body. Intestinal parasites can begin to inhabit your body in several ways. The most common way in which our bodies can be infected is through ingestion. Larvae can be easily camouflaged in raw chicken and pork. It's also possible to ingest them from contaminated water and uncooked fruit or vegetables. In addition, it's also very easy to be contaminated by parasites through contact with animals, even domestic ones like cats, dogs and birds. There are many types of intestinal worms, known by different colloquial and scientific names. Thus, they can have different sizes and shapes and cause different symptoms. Symptoms that indicate the presence of intestinal worms. Diarrhea. Diarrhea is a common symptom of several diseases, not just intestinal worms. It can appear for many reasons, from consuming food in poor condition to heart or respiratory infections. Diarrhea is a very common symptom in cases of unicellular intestinal parasites. This type of parasites are sometimes called angleworms, although they are imperceptible to the naked eye. In the case of large worms, from 1 inch onwards, diarrhea only appears when there is an overpopulation in the intestine. In this case, the patient could come to observe the worms in the feces. Abdominal pain. Many patients may confuse this pain with cramps, because the abdominal pain associated with intestinal worms is intermittent and quite strong. There are women who ignore this symptom of intestinal parasites due to their resemblance to strong menstrual pains. The abdominal pain caused by worms affects the lower part of the torso, closer to the crotch than to the stomach. This symptom indicates the presence of worms that feed directly on the intestinal walls, which irritates the nerve endings and causes severe pain. Slow growth. This symptom is one of the most common in children and young people. As we've already indicated, being parasitic, worms feed on the nutrients of the host body, in this case, the human. Intestinal worms consume a large amount of vitamins and minerals necessary for growth. Children who have parasites are usually shorter and thinner than most. They may also have little energy to face their day. If your child sleeps a lot of time a day and is tired when she or he wakes up, worms may be the problem. If so, consult your doctor to start a treatment. Fatigue. Fatigue is a symptom of possible malnutrition, rather than of the worms themselves. When worms eat more nutrients than the infected human body, the person may feel weak and sleepy. If you notice changes in your energy levels, start to look for the possible appearance of other symptoms. Dry cough. There are several types of worms that inhabit the human gut for most of their life cycle. However, during the first stage when they are just larvae, they can develop in other parts of the body. Some parasites migrate to the lungs and esophagus in the early stages of growth. This can cause inflammation of sensitive tissues. A dry cough that is not relieved by anti-flu or sore throat remedies may indicate parasites. This symptom can be quite annoying and even painful. Change in appetite. The intestinal worms present as a strange mass lodged in the body. Although you do not feel their presence physically, your body receives nervous stimuli from your intestines constantly. These stimuli tell the brain that the intestine is full, but obviously cannot identify if it's processed food or worms. Thus, you may suffer a sudden change in your appetite. You may be eating less and less and being satisfied with a smaller amount of food. On the other hand, there are some types of earthworms that process too many nutrients. This causes your body to suffer a nutritional deficit. In this case, you may feel hungry much more often, and increase your food intake. You must be very attentive when any of these symptoms arise. It's unlikely that one of them directly indicates the presence of parasites in the body. However, if you notice that two or more symptoms appear at the same time, it's recommended that you consult your doctor. Looking for a way to eliminate intestinal parasites naturally? Read this article.